Hi there, Danny Maresca, clinical hypnotherapist, and welcome to this second video where we're going to talk about how you can shift your state. Now, I explained in the first video that a state is comprised of three different components, and I like to think of it like a stool. And the first leg of that stool is the body, and the second leg is the focus, and then the third leg is your emotions and thoughts and images that you have. And the constellation of all of these things creates an overall state. And you might have this sort of state about a given issue in your life, something that's going on for you. And I asked you in the last one to just think through what you wanted to work on today, something that's not too intense, something that's maybe a 5 or a 6 out of 10 in terms of the intensity, that we can shift and to get you out of that state a little bit. And the tool that we'll use today and in the next video is something that you can use to intercept things, if you will, when you're in a process of experiencing that state about that issue. So this is something you can kind of do on the spot to just kind of shift things for you. So what I'd like you to do is just bring up that issue right now in your mind and just think about it. And just become aware of the experience of thinking about that issue that you've decided to work on. And you might rate it right now in terms of the intensity when you think about it. Maybe it's a 4, a 5, a 6, or a 7. And just become aware of the intensity of that experience, of this state around that issue. And the first thing that we're going to do today is we're going to shift or change the channel, so to speak, in one of those legs of the stool. And we're going to do that by shifting your focus, your attention, where your attention is. And so I mentioned that your attention when you're in that state might be on the past or on the future or on thoughts that are kind of moving through. And so in order to shift your focus, we're going to use your other senses. And this is sort of a way to pattern interrupt things that you're experiencing, sort of short circuit the common neurological pattern that's happening when you get into that state. And so, and over time, the more times you interrupt that pattern, you start to create a new pattern, a new way of thinking, feeling, and being around that given issue. And oftentimes that allows you to have a new perspective on that issue and maybe even have some shift around the issue itself. And so what I'd like you to do now is just to bring to mind that issue, whatever you're wanting to work on. And you've rated it on a scale of 0 to 10. And we're going to use the senses. So first, I'd like you to simply use your eyes. So we're going to use other sensory information to shift your focus off of this issue. So just use your eyes right now and just look around the room. You can look away from the screen here and just look at different objects in the room, just using your eyes to move from one thing to the next. And without labeling what it is, just you might describe it. It's this plastic white thing with a sort of knob that sticks out, and that knob moves up and down. Of course, that has a name, but we're just noticing things with our eyes, and then move on to another thing that you see. And just kind of describe it in your mind, what you're seeing, the shape of it, texture, and so on. And just spend maybe 5 seconds on one thing and then move on to the next. Find something else in the space that you're in and use your eyes to just take in that information and shift your focus to something else. And just noticing what you notice about that object or thing that you're looking at. Okay, good. And now we'll move on to a different sense, which is going to be your ears. So you're going to listen for sounds. So in a similar way, right now, of course, you hear my voice. And just notice what other sounds you hear. I'll be quiet for just a minute. And as you're listening, you might kind of note where that sound's coming from, the direction it's coming from, the quality of the sound, or just pick out all the different sounds that you hear. The air conditioner humming, a car off in the distance, somebody honking their horn outside, the wind blowing the trees. the humming of maybe a computer, the sound of your own breath and body. And just take in all that information. Good. Okay, so we've used the eyes and we've used the ears. We're going to do one more, and if you need to pause the video, you can, but I'd like you to just pick an object, something that you can hold in your hand, something that's rather small, but has texture to it. Doesn't matter what it is. Could be a familiar object, that's okay. And just grab that object. It's kind of like what we would use a stress ball for. It's just pulling your attention away. And just hold on to that object, whatever it may be. If it's a paper clip, a pencil, preferably not your phone because you probably hold that often, but something that you can hold in your hand and just feel the sensations of it without labeling it, without even describing what it feels like. Just feel with your hands. Just bring in that information of what you're feeling. And what you'll find with all three of these that we've done is that more than anything, you're shifting your focus and your awareness to the present moment, right? You're not getting lost in the past or the future. You're just right here, right now, feeling that thing in your hand, or hearing those sounds around you, or seeing those things that are right here with you right now. And in doing this, you're able to just shift just a little bit. You kick one leg out from that stool that creates that state by shifting your focus and awareness. And as I said, the more you do this, the more you're going to be able to sort of short circuit that pattern, that neurological pattern. Because remember, your brain is plastic in that way. It can be shifted and changed in those patterns. So we're just going to create a new way of noticing things, and a new way of using your attention and awareness. Okay. So that's it for this video. You can check in with yourself now. And when you think about that issue, maybe it's dropped down a little bit. Maybe it's a 4 or a 5 or less than it was. That's all we're really looking to do. It's something that you could do over and over again. And the more you do that work, the less the impact of that state will be. And you'll be able to begin shifting your state. Okay. So thank you for watching this video. In the next video, we're going to talk about how you can change your body, and we'll use some cool techniques to really quickly just shift what's going on in your body, that second leg of the stool. And then in the third video after that, or the fourth video, we'll talk about a process called core transformation, which is a way to shift emotional states fairly quickly. So thank you for watching this. I hope you received some benefit from it, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow with that new video that we'll do then. Okay, thanks so much.